Hi, this is Jordan Ramirez, and usually I am hosting Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez, but today is a very special episode as I will be covering the Art is Alive Film Festival, and with me is my first guest. And Tell the audience who you are and what film you have directed.
Hello, my name is Johnny Antonini. I am the writer and director of The Lifeguards. I am calling in from Toledo, Ohio, but we are so excited to be a part of the Art is Live Film Festival in New York City.
Oh, that's good. It's wonderful. So, now that you mentioned the film that you have directed, can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming film that will be screened at the festival and what was your inspiration behind this movie?
Yes, so it is a summer coming of age comedy movie that takes place at a country club about a group of lifeguards. The story sort of starts with the youngest lifeguard that comes in. His name is Mike, and he is a very strict rule follower. He's very buttoned up, very straight and narrow path guy. And he thinks that all the other lifeguards are going to be just like that, all about following the rules. But he quickly discovers that they are not about following the rules. They are all about throwing parties and slacking off and just having a good time. And so basically, over the course of the summer, he learns to have a little bit more fun in life and relax and, have some new life experiences.
Hmm.
Um, and the movie really was inspired because I spent like 7 summers as a lifeguard here in Toledo, Ohio. Um, and it's just one of the best jobs that you can have. You're just working in the summer months at a pool, and there's just always a good, interesting group of people that you get to know and hang out with. And I just wanted to make a movie about that.
That's delightful. So, so some of the cast members that I have noticed, they look really fun. They look engaged, and could you tell me a little bit about how you discovered some of these talented actors that you chose for the Lifeguard movie? Was it like what was the process of casting the actors as the lifeguards?
It was for the most part, it was through Backstage, and we just put out, a nationwide casting call. But really amazingly, the people that we found were all pretty much in the area.
Mm,
The leading lady, Andy Jo Taylor, just happened to also be from Toledo and
mm,
just was exactly what we were looking for the role of Emma. So like that was really just could not have been you know could not have been better for our situation. And then we also reached out to a local university, Bowling Green State University, and just reached out to their theater program and just asked if any of their young actors were available. And that's how we found Maddie Hatton and Nakara.
mm.
So that was amazing, worked out. And then um, a couple of the other actors I had known or know people who knew, so sort of just through connections like that.
That's amazing. So were there any sort of incidents or ideas that you put into the film that were from your experience, or just some ideas that you thought of when making this movie that are in the final film?
It's kind of interesting because I went through a lot of different drafts of the script, and when I first was writing it, there was a lot of direct stories that happened to me in real life that I worked into the script. And then over time, those kind of faded out and more generic made up stories and situations kind of worked their way in. But sort of definitely just the overall concept of like I would go to lifeguard parties and like just kind of hang out with these people after work. Or sometimes occasionally sneak into the pool after hours and do some late night swimming,
Hmm.
things like that nature. So those kind of situations were inspired from real life, but I don't think any direct like dialogue or stories took place.
That is
Yeah.
cool. So when I watched the trailer for your movie, which I admit it's a really cool trailer, to be honest.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I noticed that it was like a widescreen type setting. So, did you use like widescreen type cameras, or what type of cameras did you use for filming when filming?
We used a red Komodo camera, and
Hmm.
then I we rented some anamorphic lenses
Mm.
for the filming, which I think was such a just great way to go about it. I think it has such a cool look.
Hmm.
It kind of has somewhat of a vintage look to it in a way, but not like over the top. Like that's not necessarily what we were going for, but
Mm.
it just I'm really happy with how it looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now a message from Jordan Ramirez for Film Talk with Jordan Ramirez.
I want to take a break from this episode to thank my listeners/viewers who watch the videos on my YouTube channel and listen to each new episode on Spotify. While this show is a labor of love and passion that isn't about the movies that I like, this is also a show that is about the films that you like. Have a film that you want to recommend to the podcast? Make sure to recommend it in the comments section on YouTube and on Spotify, and you will receive a shout out in a future episode. Want to be a guest on the podcast? Click on the sign up form link in the episode description for further details. If you like this episode or my previous episodes, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more interviews in the near future. The goal for this channel is to reach up to 100 subscribers both on YouTube and on Spotify. It's just that easy. And now, back to our regularly scheduled episode. Yeah, I love the use of anamorphic lenses, and also I love
Yeah.
the widescreen because you can see from like the corners of your screen, like maybe some important details. I don't know if that's going to be important to the plot, or maybe that's part of the humor if that was what you were going for.
There is some of that. I mean, it did help out because a lot of the scenes are like group scenes with like three or four or even more people in them. So it's just definitely easier to, set up shots with multiple people in them for long dialogue scenes like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely uh some humor in camera movements where we pan a certain way to reveal something. So uh, definitely you want to be looking at the whole screen. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very much aware of watching movies filmed in anamorphic or in widescreen. So for the film shot, so where did you find the scene to film like the pool scenes? Did you find like a local area that where did you find this amazing pool? So where did you film this?
So it was at a country club here, Sylvania Country Club, that my parents have been members at for years now, and they were just so gracious and awesome to let us film there. We
Mm-hmm.
basically went in. We started at the end of last summer, actually almost about 1 year ago today.
Mm-hmm.
We filmed once school was back in session, the pool was essentially empty during the days. So we were able to get in there, basically, got in there at 9 and worked as long as we could. And then they kept the water full and the chemicals going for one more week after Labor Day.
Mm.
So we had a good like 2.5 week stretch where we were able to film there.
That's amazing. It looked similar to a community pool that I know of in where I go to in Tampa Palms, because it felt almost exactly similar, the design and the way that the structure looked.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's amazing that you get to do that.
Yeah.
So for some of the country club scenes that I saw in the trailer, was that filmed at an actual country club where you got permission to film?
Yes. Yeah. It's an actual country club. Yeah.
Okay, it's amazing because so who was the actor who plays like one of the, I don't know if he's a member of the country club, or who was that actor? I'm trying to remember.
The like the older gentleman.
Yes, the older gentleman.
That is he's actually a family friend. His name is Patrick Kenny.
Okay.
And he plays sort of the manager of the country club and the manager of all the lifeguards. So he comes in to try to keep things in order.
Yeah. I
Doesn't
always
always do great.
yes, I always picture him as he could. I always picture him as he does fit this type of character role because he does feel like he belongs in that country club and he does feel like he belongs there.
Yeah.
So yes. So were there any incidents or when filming that happened, or was it very much like incident free during the filming of this movie?
It was luckily very small incidents. We were very lucky in that regard. There was one major day that we got rained out.
Oh wow.
And sort of just due to um scheduling conflicts, like we really couldn't shoot the scene on another day, so we had to scramble and we it was supposed to be like a big opening meeting scene that just took place at the side of the pool, but we quickly called up a coffee shop that had like an upstairs conference room, and
Mm,
we just rented that out for the day and had to adjust and move everything and take care of it all there. So
mm.
that was definitely the biggest change that uh, affected everything. And then there was one day where we had forgot to charge the camera batteries
Mm,
overnight. So we about halfway through the day
mm,
we're starting to panic and freaking
mm.
out, not sure what we were going to do. And we sent one of the actors who lives in town to he just drove down to a fellow filmmaker who had the same kind of camera batteries, and
Mm.
we used those for the rest of the day. So that really saved us.
Yeah, that's actually pretty. So so when I listened to some of the dialogue scenes just from the trailer alone, I it felt like it was, I don't know if it was like an homage or it was just something that I pictured like an homage to like the teen comedy films of the 80s and 90s decade. But I don't know if this movie is like, were you making this sort of like PG-13 type level of the dialogue in this picture, or what were you going for as you were making this picture?
Uh, so it's to sort of talk about just the inspirations in general, it definitely was inspired by teen comedy movies. One of the biggest ones I'd say is Dazed and Confused.
Oh,
Uh, love that movie.
hmm.
Uh, Wet Hot American Summer was a big inspiration.
Oh, okay.
And I've actually just been rewatching the sh series on Netflix and
Oh,
loving that. And then um, definitely, I mean, like, movies like Super Bad are one of my favorites, and
mm-hmm.
I'm drawing a blank. Adventureland is another great like workplace
Oh,
comedy.
okay.
And though this movie it's not officially rated yet,
Okay.
it'd fall in the PG-13 range, but I
Okay.
would say it's a pretty light PG-13. There's some language, but it doesn't really get that aggressive. There's some innuendos here and there, and one scene with a couple gentlemen in revealing bathing suits.
Oh yeah.
I'll that.
Yeah, because watching the trailer, it did feel like it was sort of like an homage to the teen comedy movies of like the, as you mentioned, the 90s and 2000s decade, sort of around the time that I grew up in.
Yeah.
So so any other like interesting tidbits about the film that we discussed, or maybe it's pretty much just all there.
I mean, I'm very proud with the trailer. I think that does give a pretty good representation of what to expect from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I don't, I mean, it's it's just a fun movie. There's no doubt about it. And
Yeah.
the people who have seen it multiple times have all agreed that it gets better on repeat viewings.
Yes, it does. It feels like it could be shown on repeat viewings, or it could be shown on, I don't know if they would. Yeah, so before we move on to what to expect, or maybe we already explained that, do you think some of the cast members will be at the festival, or probably not at the moment?
I'm hoping one of the leads Charles Wetzel Jr. I'm hoping he can make it. He's trying to get there. Uh, one guy who lives in New York, actually, Mark Vanderslice.
Okay.
I'm hoping he can be there. He helped out on the camera side of things, but also uh, does make a small appearance in the film towards
Mm,
the end in
mm,
a very small but impactful role. I think actually one of the lines that makes me laugh every single time is one that he delivers. So
mm.
I'm hoping he can be there.
Yeah, I'm hoping he could be there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have moved on to a little bit of the tidbits, so what do you hope that audiences, when they see this movie, what do you want them to expect? What do you want them to take away from this movie?
So one of the biggest aspects of it is that it's a very summertime movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's been really great this, past couple months getting it out there and showing it at various theaters around when we can and uh just keeping that summer vibe going. We had a great premiere in May to like really kick off the summer vibes. But now that we're approaching fall, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, if that I hope it gets people back into that summer mentality when they watch it, as it starts to get colder. So I'm hoping it can maybe be like an even more of an escape to just bring up those summer day feelings and good vibes.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing to watch like summer movies or movies that reflect the summer season that I do want to see more of because I don't know if there was a last mainstream Hollywood movie that reflected that for the past, I don't know, 5, 10 years that showed
Yeah.
that. I don't know if there was. Now that we have talked about what to expect, do you have any upcoming plans for like any other projects that you're hoping to get off the ground, or is it like a wait and see moment?
It's definitely wait and see. Still putting a lot of focus in getting the lifeguards out there in front of more people as much as possible. But there is a short film project that I'm hoping to get filmed by the end of this year or possibly early
Mm.
next year during the fall and winter months. And then I'm back in the early writing stages of another feature-length comedy movie, romantic comedy movie
Mm.
that's called Apart Together.
That's amazing. I hope that I get to see your future projects as soon as possible. I would really love to see that. And so this is I think I read on your website that this is your first movie.
Yes, yes. This is my first feature-length movie. I've made a handful of short films over the past several years, but yeah, this is the first real one. Uh,
That's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Where can where can my audience find these short films? Is it available online? Is it available on a specific channel?
Yes, there are a couple of them are on just YouTube, just my YouTube channel,
Okay.
Johnny Antonini, and then I think the most recent two are on Vimeo, but they might
Mm,
be password protected.
okay.
But I'll definitely make sure those are available for people to view
Okay.
as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, that's amazing. So this is a little bit unrelated, but I'll bring
Okay.
this up anyway. Okay. So when making this film, I know that we already talked about like your inspirations for comedy films. Like, are you hoping that you have like a sort of style? Or I know that directors, whenever they talk about like the style of filmmaking, sometimes they talk about it, or maybe they don't have like a specific style or trademark or anything like that. So, do you take like inspirations from besides the films we have mentioned, or was there like a specific style of filmmaking that you were hoping to go for, but not be too like over the top about it?
Yeah. It's definitely there's definitely a blend of a lot of different inspirations in there. One of my, I'd say, like biggest inspirations for comedy specifically is Judd Apatow.
Okay.
Um, and he has this great philosophy that your comedy movie should work without any of the jokes. So
Hmm.
like the story of the movie should be so powerful that that's what keeps people watching and intrigues people. And then you just add in some jokes on top of it and just make it a great fun time for everyone. So definitely I will always try to make that happen.
Hmm.
And then as far as like I don't know if I have or I'm trying to do like a really specific style that I stick to every single time.
Hmm.
Um, I one of my other like inspirations I'd say is actually the author Ernest Hemingway.
Okay.
And his like the books, like his whole bibliography or whatever it's called is sort of like semi-autobiographical.
Mm.
And I really like that concept. So I think uh like most of the stuff that I've made is semi-autobiographical. Like this movie, The Lifeguards, it was inspired from my summer as a lifeguard. And like you know, I want to make a movie like a movie about my fun weekends in college or like I want to someday make a movie about lacrosse because I played lacrosse in high school and there's not really a great lacrosse movie right now of all the sports
Mm.
movies. So like I think that concept as far as like what my style is going to be. Yeah.
Mm. I hope that you do make a lacrosse movie because
Yeah.
I hardly see any about that sport, but I hope I get to see it. Okay,
I do
so
too.
yes, thank you. Okay, so we're going to wrap up this interview.
Okay.
So before we wrap things up, do you have any last statements, like a couple of things you want to let the audience know? And also, if it will be available once this film premieres at the film festival, where if it's going to be released in theaters, or what is the goal for what is the end goal?
So if you are in the New York City area, definitely come out to the screening at the festival. It's playing on Thursday, September 12th at 5:30 p.m. I am not sure what the location is, but I know that will be on the Art is Alive website. And then if you're not in NYC, follow our Instagram page, which is at the underscore lifeguards underscore movie, and that is where we'll have all the updates on where to watch it. Right now, we're just kind of coming down to like the end of our festival run and like small theater run, and it will probably be some sort of online version to rent pretty soon. So definitely, yeah, follow our Instagram and stay tuned.
Okay, that's thank you so much. And this has been Jordan Ramirez. And before we sign off, I want to thank you, Johnny, for talking about your upcoming movie and also talking about a little bit of the synopsis, the
Yeah.
details, and also, so where can my audience find you on like social media, or you mentioned like your specific YouTube channel. So where can my audience find you to learn more about you?
Yeah, so my Instagram I think is just at Johnny-Antonini. Um and you know, it's all connected and linked and through there. So you can follow me there. And yeah, I just want to thank you Jordan for taking the time to talk with me. This has been
Oh,
great.
it is, and I can't wait to see your movie
Yeah.
once it hits theaters at the Art is Alive Film Festival on September 12th, and I hope to give it I hope to let you know about what I think of it.
Yeah. Can't wait to
Yeah,
hear your thoughts.
thank you so much. And this has been Jordan Ramirez interviewing Johnny Antonini for the upcoming film festival Art is Alive in New York City for his upcoming movie Lifeguards. And until then, I'll see you at the movies, and I hope that maybe we can chat some other day. And thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely. Talk to you
Okay,
soon.
talk to you soon. Bye.